Greetings, Kindred. I am Voivode Maquette, and welcome back to our World of Darkness and another episode of Level by Level. But this is not Discipline Use 101. This is the very first episode of the Amalgam playlist, which I am excited to introduce because this is a wonderful new mechanic that they introduced in V5 that is very similar to the combination disciplines that we used to have in older editions, and also the devotions, which were an aspect of Vampire the Requiem, where you take two disciplines and meld them into one to get a full new effect. Today we are going to be working on Unliving Hive, which is the very first Amalgam discipline located in the Vampire the Masquerade First Edition core book. Unliving Hive is one of my favorites that I have to say, not because it's the first one that I'm talking about, but because it's actually it's an interesting take on a combination merit and flaw that I used to take in older systems for Nosferatu and Zameti, which is parasitic infestation as the flaw, which literally means you have things living inside of you and crawling around, and you can see your skin move, and it actually causes you to go down in social traits, which Nosferatu and Zameti, I didn't care. The other thing is Swarm Attractor, which allows you to control bugs that swarm around you constantly. Now, I would take them both so that the swarm was inside of my body, and when they felt threatened, they would attack. That is exactly what I would do with that merit and flaw combo, and that's exactly what happened when they created Unliving Hive as a discipline amalgam for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. It just makes me wonder if people who were creating this book also did the same thing that I did when I was playing characters, because it's exactly what I was doing, and it just gets me excited to see that. So what does the core book have to say about Unliving Hive? Well, first, it is a level 3 Animalism power amalgam with Obfuscate 2. So you have to have at least the third level of Animalism and the second level of Obfuscate. You can buy this and you can get Unliving Hive. Those two together create that. And it states, most often seen among the Nosferatu, this unnerving power allows the user to extend their animal influence to swarms of insects, such as flies and roaches. Certain vampires even go as far as to adopt the swarm of familiae, giving them a permanent home within the folds of their orifices and malformed flesh. Now, like I said, it is commonly used around the Nosferatu, but there is nothing that states that you cannot take this with other clans. So you could very well take it with a gangrel if you were able to learn Obfuscate, or pretty much anything else. And depending on what you're trying to portray in the game, there's no reason why you could not learn this. This also does not fit into what I would consider a clan-specific amalgam, which we will get onto with later disciplines. But for right now, dealing with this, I don't see any reason why anybody who got a hold of Animalism and Obfuscate could not combine those two to create their own Unliving Hive. The cost, there is no additional cost. This is a completely free to use discipline that is just passive in and of itself. The system says, the power extends all powers previously restricted to vertebrates to insect swarms, treating a swarm as a single creature. I assume that has a lot to do with the fact that swarmed creatures do tend to have what's known as a hive mind more than anything, where they are able to communicate with pheromones and just seem to know what they're thinking. The vampire can bind a swarm as a familiae, and some even give it the ability to nest inside the cavities of their body. This hides the swarm from sight while allowing it to nurse the minute amounts of blood needed to sustain it indefinitely. While nesting, the swarm is undetectable to anything less than X-ray. Swarms do little damage in combat. They have health 5 and a pool of 8 dice to resist attacks. Swarms take superficial damage from brawl. Flame and insecticide cause aggravated damage. Vampires can use swarms for spying as distractions, resulting in a 2 dice penalty on any roll from a single swarmed individual. Or to intimidate mortals. Add between 1 and 3 die to intimidation pools, depending on the type of insect and the victim's phobias. Players and storytellers can doubtlessly come up with even more creative uses for this power. I love it. I love it. I can't say anything more positive about it other than I love it. I do like the fact that you can use these to spy. Now, because of older systems and the restrictions of not being able to actually use animalism on invertebrates, I love the fact that this one allows you to bypass that limitation for this power. And being able to have that little group of spies on you is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. The original concept that I used to use this for was just the distraction, was to put the person who was attacking you at a 2 trait penalty down. But the fact that also you can direct them and tell them where to go makes this so much better than it used to be when it was a combination merit and flaw power that I thought I was just being clever and coming up with. The fact that other people have done it too kind of warms my cold heart. The duration is passive, obviously, because it is not an active discipline. It is passive, so it is always going to be in effect. So this right here states straight out that storytellers and players can obviously come up with so many fun variations to use this power for, and that is what I'm asking of this. Due to the fact that these are advanced disciplines, I'm going to go ahead and start doing something new. I always ask, but I am actually just going to state that I do want homework from you guys for something. I'm not sure how many of you who have actually taken Unliving Hive, but if you have, as always, I want to hear what you have done with it. If you've never had the opportunity to use this, that is homework for you. I want to know exactly what you would do with this. And those of you who are storytellers, I would like you to look through the comments of this and all the wonderful ideas that I'm sure we're going to get from our sick, twisted, little minded community out there, if you would or would not allow it, and why, because it's just such a fun, crazy power that should really be a thing. I think I would also, given possibly a further cost of blood per session, I might even up this and allow rodents to be used as the hive that nests inside the vampire, bringing about the idea of the swarm femore from the Freak Legion book from so many years ago. But like I said, please, this is, come on, participation grades here. Come on, let's work on this and try to see if we can find any fun, interesting things that'll turn people's stomach with the use of this discipline. I am Voivode Maquette. This is our world of darkness, and level by level, the advanced playlist for the Amalgam Disciplines. And we have just looked into disgusting. We have just looked into the power Unliving Hive, an amalgam of horror. Class dismissed.